So now that y'all know, if you're a current USCCA member and they decide to deny your claim, and maybe it gets a little publicity, you can expect USCCA to completely trash your character in order to save their own ass. Okay? Just so you know. So the member who got screwed over by USCCA is Kayla Giles. And for those of you who are unclear, I'm going to give you all a brief overview of what happened with this case because there's a lot of BS in the media right now, especially coming from USCCA. Kayla and her ex-husband were not doing well. They were arguing a lot to the point where Kayla tried to get a restraining order against him. No one knows if that was denied or approved, but Kayla and her husband had a child custody exchange and they decided to do it in a Walmart parking lot in broad daylight. They got into a heated argument. Kayla tried to remove herself from the situation. Remember that. She went and walked back to her car, tried to shut the door and lock it. He followed her in an aggressive manner and tried to yank her door open, and Kayla shot him.
The children exit my vehicle, they get in his vehicle. He started yelling and wanting to argue about something. I don't know. I just immediately said, nope, we're not doing this, turned around. Whenever I got into the vehicle, I was trying to lock the door.
Your kids are now in his vehicle, and you're back in your vehicle. You locked the door. He's out of his vehicle and still wanting to argue with you?
Right. Well, I didn't even get a chance to lock the door because as soon as I turned around to go to the vehicle, he followed me. And had he just been a split second slower, he would not have been shot. But before I could even lock the door, he jerked it open. And when he opened it and leaned in, that's when I picked up the gun out of the cup holder on the side of my door and I fired one shot.
Now, I know some people are going to be like, oh no, that was the wrong use of force. Look, check this out. I haven't heard anybody cover this yet. And it wasn't that hard to find. And if her lawyer didn't bring this up during the trial, sir, you need help. Kayla is about 5'1", about $110. Her then ex-husband was about 6 foot, 180 pounds. Now, without knowing any other information, do you think that a 6 foot, 180 pound male could do pretty much anything he wanted to very quickly to a woman that small, or a woman in general? If you're saying no, you need to study biology, because men are naturally a ton stronger than women. But here's the point that everybody missed. Her husband was an MMA fighter. I would say that changes the facts a little bit, don't you? Kayla being 5'1", 110 pounds, seeing a full-grown man following her to her vehicle, being the aggressor, trying to yank her door open. I would say her knowing what his skill set was, she probably knew that he could knock her out in half a second or strangle her to death. But no, that's not what the media reported. Hey man, I'm glad you're confident in your statement because if she gets out, you're going to have a lot of walking back to do. But let's just run with it for a second, okay? I want to make sure I understand the logic behind this. TT is saying that this was premeditated. So what you're saying is that Kayla thought in her mind, you know what, today is the day to kill my husband in broad daylight in a Walmart parking lot and in front of my 3 children. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm going to kill my children's father in front of them because I can't stand him anymore. If you believe that, I can't help you. No one can help you. God would even struggle helping you on that one, with the amount of stupidity involved with that. Some people just need to turn their brain on. Now, where they probably got this premeditated crap from is Kayla had some internet searches a couple of weeks before when she started having problems with her ex-husband.
What types of things came out at trial where they were trying to establish that you were planning? I had something about like internet searches or something like that.
They had a search about USCCA, of course. Can you pick your own attorney with USCCA? Things that I was finding on their website, and then I would narrow my search on Google. They found when I looked up the Louisiana statutes for justifiable homicide.
So what the court is telling people is that if you have a problem with someone close to you and you start looking up what happens if I have to shoot somebody in self-defense, that's called premeditation. Once again, whoever was running this in court, you need a new brain. That's not premeditation, that's called being prepared. And I can pretty much guarantee a lot of people have looked stuff up like that. But the question for me is not, well, is she guilty or innocent? The question for me is, how did USCCA weasel out of this one? Even her own lawyer that they provided for her said it was a great argument for self-defense. I mean, truly, if you're currently a USCCA member, does this sound premeditated? Does this sound like she went there to kill her husband in front of her kids? You'd have to be a pretty messed up person to have that plan. But TT and USCCA are sticking to their story that it was premeditated and that's why she was dropped. It's just ridiculous. Now, Kayla is still fighting. She's still appealing this. And during the interview, the attorneys on retainer offered to help Kayla for free.
Anything we can do to help, I'm happy to have a conversation with her.
And we won't charge you a dime because you've already paid way too much for attorneys as it is.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be great if we could get the thing, help get the thing reversed.
They offered to do USCCA's job because you guys dropped the ball. So now that everybody knows about this, if you're a USCCA member and you're thinking, well, what do? I don't want to be like Kayla. I don't blame you. My recommendation would be to join attorneys on retainer. If they are willing to help a customer of a competing business for free, what do you think they're going to do for a paying member? Probably going to go to the moon and back for you. That's why I believe AOR is the best self-defense coverage in the country. There is no insurance attached to it, so there's no bean counter saying, oh, I don't know, it was premeditated. There were some internet searches. No, they're a law firm. They aren't bound by the law to exclude certain things they can cover or not. They have bail coverage. They take you all the way through trial, pay for expert witnesses. And if you take a plea deal or you lose, they don't have anything in their contract that says that you have to pay everything back to them like USCCA does. So they're giving everybody watching $50 off when you sign up. There's going to be a link and code below the video. Go make sure you're protected, like truly protected. And if you think you're protected because you have insurance, clearly you've never had a health insurance or car insurance claim. And I want to say one more thing. For the people in the comments saying, oh, I'm good, I have CCW safe, man. Oh, I've got US Law Shield. Oh, I've got this and that. Let me explain something. If you have a self-defense coverage that is insurance-based, it is no different than USCCA. In fact, it's the same thing. The process is the same. There is a bean counter that's looking at all the evidence before you have your trial and they're deciding your guilt or innocence. I wouldn't want to take that chance with some insurance company who probably has a bean counter that's anti-gun. So I want to end with this. No one in the gun community who makes videos is promoting USCCA anymore for obvious reasons. There's a few outliers who just, I don't know, can't critically think. But there is one, and it's their poster boy. And man, I'm gonna say genuinely, I really hope that you've dropped them and that you're not just staying silent and waiting for the dust to settle and then planning on pitching USCCA again as a great insurance option. I really, really hope that that is not the case. But I see comments deleted all day on that channel about USCCA, so who knows?
What do you say to the people, to the 800,000 people who are currently signed up with the United States Concealed Carry Association on the promise that if you get into one of these problems, they're going to have your back?
You're stupid. I would find another company.